right where you should be right now. This is the Hawk Podcast. And with me today, like I promised for 2 weeks, is the beautiful Marty King Young. And there she is. And we're going to talk about film. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about the Adventures of Wonderboy. And absolutely. And we're just going to talk about career and things like that. Thank you so much for being here, Marty.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to come on such an affluent podcast with such a world-changing gent.
We've known each other for 18 years. She can say what she wants. I just was figuring that out because we met each other in 2003, and that was 18 years ago.
I can't believe it. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. I was sitting there going, how I know Marty? Because I knew it was almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh, but and then I figured out it's 18 years, and I thought, man.
Yeah, no kidding. One of the best friendships ever, too. I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. I love you. I think you're great. How's your husband Craig doing?
He's doing good. He's working in an ER, and he's waiting for me. He keeps telling me that I need to hurry up and start directing my own things so he can buy a boat and tell everybody to piss off. It's just so typical of him.
How's Wonderboy doing?
He's doing great. He's constantly drawing he makes concept drawings.
Yeah.
For the sequels.
All right.
For the sequels. So yeah, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay. So it's a hard, Wonderboy took us just 4 months to film, but we were filming every weekend because he was in school at the time. So
right.
And that was basically every single favor that I had ever had. I cashed it in, for that movie. So we made it like literally on a shoestring budget. And this one now he's like, yeah, we can add all these extra special effects and, all these people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because
cha-ching.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I mean, he just does not grasp it. Like he wanted a recumbent tricycle because he can't ride a bike because of the autism. So I got him this tricycle thing where he sits back and he can steer with his hands on the back, and he's literally just like reclined. And I took it on the last show I worked on Sweet Magnolias, and the guy who was our art director designed the Batmobile for the Christopher Nolan movies. And I was like, what? You did the Batmobile? And I showed him the cycle, and he goes, bring it in. So he like souped it up. And so it says Wonderboy's got flames on it and everything.
Wow.
And so, yeah. Well,
I'll just send you my wheelchair.
Do it.
Because the fastest it goes is 4 miles an hour.
I love it.
So I can come visit you, but it'll take me till January 2032. But,
so by the time you get here, you'll make it for the premiere of Wonderboy 2. That's
amazing. So you worked on TV and you worked on movies. Yes. What is your favorite? Do you like doing TV first? Do you like doing movies? I know movies are got to be awesome. I mean, you've met Morgan Freeman.
I have.
Yeah.
Yes. And Robert De Niro. It was really cool. And it's been pretty cool. I've worked on 3 series now back to back. And I like films better. I like it because there's just a different energy to filming TV versus film. Like when you start prepping for film, you have one director that's going to see you from point A all the way to point B. Right. And you know that there's sort of like an end to the light there's a light at the end of the tunnel per se. And when you film in television, you film in blocks, at least you do for streaming. And that means you have one director for episodes 1 and 2. And while we're filming 1 and 2, the new director's coming in to prep for episodes for the second block, which is episodes 3 and 4,
Right.
and so it's just constant pandemonium and constant meetings because they have to meet with the director that's currently filming to understand the vision to go into the next series. And the one that I'm on right now is particularly difficult because we have 3 different timelines going. So we have past, present, and future, and they're all in every episode. So
Is that the one you're doing for FX?
Yes, Class of 09.
And what's that about?
It is about a futuristic FBI that is run by AI. And there's more to it, I'm sure.
And I read that you're not behind the camera in part of this, that you actually got to be in front of the camera. Am I right?
Yes. I got to be an FBI instructor in this one. Yes, you can see this beautiful shot of Kate Mara walking down a hallway, and I'm standing at the end of a hallway with a clipboard showing people where to go and looking extremely judgmental because I'm an instructor.
Right.
And right when she finds her room, I walk off. It's my claim to fame.
And that's like
my Easter egg cameo. Yes, it was. Yes. I mean,
how did that feel since you're always behind the scene?
Well, that was weird because I was an extra. So it was like, hurry up and wait, go stand over there, hurry up and wait, and when you're an extra, you're not supposed to be like, this will look better if you do it over here, or this, or this.
Yeah.
You can't chime in. You can't do that because there's an etiquette to it.
Right.
So, it was a different world. And actually it was so funny because I was like, man, 10 years ago, I would have been eating this up and I would have been like, oh man, this is so cool. And all I was thinking of was, I've got so many emails to answer for, for my producer. I've got to schedule all these Zooms. And I'm literally like, can I just like be in the shot with my computer over here? And they're like, no, they didn't have that in 2009, Marty, hush. Oh, so it was, but it's fun. It's we've got a really great crew on this one, and the cast is really great. It's Kate Mara and Ryan Tyree Henry, and it's Sepida Moafi is in it as well, and it's fun. It's really good. It's just a hard show because of the Christopher Nolan-esque time jumps and everything like that. But we've got a bunch of really cool special effects, and I think it's gonna be a really awesome series. I can't wait to see it. It's limited series, so you just get the 8 episodes, but I'm sure if people like it enough, it'll get a season 2 green light.
And how's it end? I'm joking.
The best part though is that our showrunner is writing all of the episodes. So we only have 5 scripts right now. So none of us know how it ends. We're just like, well, do we need to say, we film it out of order. So how do we do this? And he's just like, you'll just have to see, when I'm just like, okay. But he's a really good writer. His name's Tom Rob Smith. He did Versace. And he's in I think he did. No, he didn't do that one, I don't think, but he's really good.
What you just did a Netflix show, right? Sweet Magnolia.
Yep, Sweet Magnolias. That was fun. I was actually reunited with Joanna Garcia Swisher, who plays Maddie in that, and we had actually worked together on Kevin Probably Saves the World. She had played Amy, Jason Ritter's sister in that. So that was really fun. And that was a really calm, loving, supportive set. That was, that's been my favorite show to work on so far, just because of the sheer, just the love and the acceptance. And the showrunner was amazing. She would hold these parties at her house for writers and directors, and she would have whoever the director was come in and talk to us all. And the writers would come in and talk. It was really cool. That was really awesome that she gave back to people like that.
I want to put this out there, and I thought it was really unfair that Kevin Probably Saves the World was canceled.
I agree. I agree. I have opinions, but I know this is a podcast, and I know that network has really big lawyers. So I'm going to be quiet.
Yeah, well, we're seeing on YouTube and Spotify and Google Podcast,
Yes.
Big Bob's Porcupine Farm podcast, and it's Tennessee. But but you tell me to tell our viewers what you've worked on a movie after,
Yes.
and you worked on was I out of place? You worked on a Conjuring movie, didn't you?
I worked on The Conjuring 3 right after I worked on Annabelle Comes Home.
How scary was that?
We had some really weird stuff going on the set. Unfortunately, I can't share too much about that, but we would have, they had priests come out to do blessings of the sets. They gave out holy water. They gave out, exorcised Saint Benedict medals, not blessed, exorcised. It was really, really weird. At one point, I think there was a prop that kept winding up going missing, and they found it on fire in another stage. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, and by I mean another stage, the way that these stages are set up is like, we had this one stage, and then you get in a golf cart and you go down to another stage.
Right.
And it was like way across the way, and nothing was filming there. And everybody was like, we don't even have access to that. How did that even happen? I don't even know. I mean, there's rumors like that people could see it on the CCTV. It just appeared and started burning. I have no idea if that's true. I didn't see that, so I can't. So I've just heard that, but
Yeah.
that was really, that was just really weird. That was really, really weird. But with what was really creepy was working on Annabelle. And I was in producer village, which is, they all sit around the monitor so they can see the screen, and I'm in the back. And when I'm not actively running around or doing meetings, I'm writing, or I'm doing my own stuff in the back, or catching up on emails. And you hear this noise, and you like turn around behind you, and there's just this cart of Annabelle dolls just passing by, because you've got the hero doll, that's the one for all the shots, and then you've got the one where that's got the stick, that's the puppet, so you can turn the head, and then you've got the one that's the stunt doll, and she's just made of absolute complete rubber, so they would just throw her around every once in a while. You just hear boom, and then she'd be like right next to you. But that was really funny. And then going through like the line at catering and turning around and seeing the demon standing right behind you, and his name's Alex, and he's like, "Hey, Marty," Yeah. I'm like, "Hey, love your makeup." And he's like, "Yeah, it takes forever to get into this." It says to be careful what he eats. He's like eating real careful. And just seeing anybody going through that's like I think the ferryman came through, and he was like, "Is that gluten-free?" And just seeing, it's just like demons are like, "What? Gluten-free?"
Well, they're demons, yet they have to watch their weight and think about their health. That's
yes. Yeah. But that was fun too. That was a really fun time. I had a great time. I was a producer's assistant on Annabelle, and then I was the locations coordinator on The Conjuring 3. And so I got to see like a whole different world of how things take place behind the scenes, and a lot of respect for locations. I'll say that, because I didn't know they did half the crap they did,
right.
I just thought that they were securing actual locations, but they're also in charge of scheduling trash pickups and porta potties and all this other stuff,
Right.
So it's, it was weird.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's crazy. I was watching another YouTube video of another, I can't remember who it was, but they were saying
Adventures of Wonderboy.
No. No, it was they were doing a behind the scenes of that movie, Your Highness, with James Franco, and they were filming in a castle that they said were haunted, and they were experiencing something
Oh yeah. I saw interviews or I read interviews with Vera, and after she did the first Conjuring, she had to call up I think it was James Wan, and she goes, I'm reading these scripts and I'm fine when I'm on set, but when I come home I have scratches. And so that's when they started bringing out the priest. I read that somewhere. I cannot give you the source. I apologize. But and I did not hear that firsthand from Vera. So that's just something that I read. But yeah, it's
Oh, wow.
the way that the priest or the exorcist or whatever it was came out and he explained it. He's like, you're constantly saying all these negative things and you're creating all this negative and all this fear. You're creating this perfect environment to either create something with your words or invite something in. So it was a lot of, I mean, we had some really weird stuff. I know he came out a couple of times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Took more than one.
Yeah. Well, you know what was funny is that I was like sitting there and I'm like, we should really have an exorcist come out to every show. Everything we work on.
Especially for that guy. Dizzy. But so I told everybody I would ask this. How does somebody, let's say somebody has a daughter or son or cousin twice removed that wants to get into film, how would you suggest they go about that?
Well, first thing I would ask is what part of film do they want to go into? So are you talking about acting or are you talking about being on crew?
I'm talking about being on a crew.
I'm being on a crew. Okay.
Yeah, because I really have no idea anything about acting or how to get into acting but that would, I know your son, Michael, he does, he's
yeah.
He's part of the crew for MacGyver.
It was MacGyver. He jumps all over the place. He did MacGyver. He's on a thing called The Game right now. He did Jumanji. He did and Netflix is about to release a movie called Red Notice. He did that. That was miserable for him because he was sequestered for 4 months because it was during COVID.
Oh,
so
wow.
We didn't get to see him and I had to take care of his geriatric beagle. So
the 18-year-old one?
Yes. Pippin.
Yes. What's his name?
Pippin.
I saw your Facebook post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good boy. He's the best boy.
Yes. He's 18 and he's still hanging around. Plus,
he is. He lets people know where he is at all times too, because he's got a bark that shatters glass. Let me tell you.
He's got that 18-year-old old person.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what it is. Okay, so if you have never done anything on a set before, I would say to start. Every state has a film commission. I would contact the film commission. I would see what was around the area. If you've never ever, like I've said, if you've never done anything like this before, right now there is a need for COVID PAs, and COVID PAs basically tell everybody 6 feet and and walk around with gloves, masks, and a rag and a bottle of different, it could be any color spray, really. I've seen a multicolors, and they just go around and they spray high touch areas, Right. And everybody's, some people are like, I don't want to do that. And it's boring. All I'm going to do is take care of this and that. And I think it's a really cool idea because number one, you're the only PA that gets to go to every single department. Right. Like you get to, not only do you get to go in and wardrobe, or props or stunts, but you also get to go upstairs where the producers are, and then of course, and so you get to meet people. And then like on my last show or 2 shows ago, there was a guy there and his name was Cheeto, who I love. And he's from Nigeria and he's awesome. And I was like, what do you want to do, Cheeto? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, besides being a COVID PA, what do you really want to do? And he goes, oh, I want to be in accounting. So I said, well, let's go to accounting. So I walked him over to accounting, and now he's working on shows as an accounting clerk. So, it's just things like that. So you get to make you get to make your contacts, and it's just sort of like the working way of networking. So if you've never done it before, I would go about that. I would throw yourself into being a COVID PA. And I'm not going to lie, any type of PA work is hard anyway, but COVID PAs really do get crapped on because nobody wants to wear their mask. Nobody wants to play by the rules. And, it is what it is. But
what do you think? I always thought I had a face for radio. What do you think?
You always made me crack up. Silly.
So
I think you're great.
Huh?
I think you're great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I think you're my best bud. You know that.
Yeah.
Do you have those little? Where do you have those little Oscars I sent you?
Oh, they're all over the place. I've got one in my office. I've got one in the office here. I've got one, on stage. I've got one, and they're like, Marty, because whoever doesn't know me, I'll be like, hi, I'm Marty, like hair and makeup or something. And they're like, oh, hi. And I'm like, I'm a female Spielberg. And they're like, what? And I'll hold it up and I'll be like, see?
Yeah.
I walk around with my accolades and they're like, you're so weird.
You ever get stopped by police and go, hey.
Yes. So much yes. So, and I actually have like an award wall of things that I've won, and they're up there with that too, because those are my favorites. Come on.
Tell me about what's going on with you've won awards for producing, directing, screenwriting. Tell me about Steampunk Lily Films.
Steampunk Lily Films is my production company, and I created it about 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago. And because as you progress in film, you have to have what's called a loan out company. Mm-hmm. And so because they'll pay you through your company. I'm not doing that on any of these shows because I'm considered below the line. It's for above the line things. And I think I'm not sure if I don't know the union rules for like grips or electric or anything like that regarding that. But where I'm going, what I want to have, what I'm doing, I want to already have it in place. So that's what that is. So whenever I'm producing a film, I do it under that. And so it was funny because I was coming up with a name for it and I was like, I don't know what to name it. And I always liked the steampunk genre, and my dog Keegan was like, you should name it steampunk. And I said, oh yeah, okay, cool. And then, by
the way, Keegan is the sparrow, correct?
Yes, Keegan is Sparrow. Yes, she's very good
at Wonderboy. She's the sparrow. Is she? Are we getting her her own vehicle, her own movie?
She wants one really bad, and right now she's actually going to school to do hair and makeup for film. So we'll see. We'll see.
That'd be cool. I show it to everybody that comes over my house, but they love everyone I show it to always comments on the fact that the way at the end her wings come out and she just shoots in the air.
Yes.
And they all go, yeah, do that. And I go, oh, it's real.
It so was. Can't you see the shadow across the bottom? She's really flying. Come on.
How does she do that? Oh, it's
real. Right?
Yeah.
It was funny. The first time Elijah watched it too, he goes, I don't remember her flying off like that. I said, oh, it happened. That's when you were sitting down complaining about the heat.
And let me ask you, what do you think about, I was watching a video and they were talking about how Hollywood and movies, the writers have no imagination anymore, and they're remaking, like they're bringing Frasier back, and they're bringing,
everything. They're remaking everything.
Yeah, they're bringing back TV shows, and this guy interviewed said they just have no imagination anymore. What's your take on that?
I just have to say, they're just carving out a really cool niche for me to step into when I start creating original content, because people are going to be like, oh, look, something new and different. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I do agree though. I'm like, another remake, seriously? Why are we doing this? But I am actually excited about the Frasier reboot because Kelsey Grammer's cool. So
Really? Yeah. When they brought Will and Grace back, yeah, I think it was a limited run. I don't think it was a second season, but
Mhm.
I just was like,
Yeah,
why are they? No one has any ideas anymore. Nobody, you know
right,
what I mean?
right.
And they're just
Yeah,
bringing stuff back because they're like, but whenever I see a reboot like Conan the Barbarian, and then I think Hellboy was remade.
yeah, it
It
was.
didn't do very good,
No,
and
no.
yeah,
And
it's
and
not.
they're doing older things too, like Starsky and Hutch when Ben Stiller and I remember sitting there and I was like, oh, that's cool. They have the real Starsky and Hutch at the end. And my
Yeah,
kids were like, who are these guys? You know what I'm saying? Like you just missed an entire demographic.
yeah,
And number one, you've made this for a demographic that's younger than the generation that even saw the originals, and then you
yeah.
have a Charlie, the Charlie Angels reboot that Elizabeth Banks did with, I mean, yay for women directors and everything, but nobody was asking for that reboot. Nobody was asking for that.
It had just been a TV show too.
Yeah.
It had been
Yeah.
on. They rebooted for TV, and it didn't work.
Right.
I don't
Right.
think it
So,
lasted a season. I think it lasted only like 7 or 8 episodes.
yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like if you read the room, and it's like the worst I've ever seen though was Cats. That was just, oh my gosh. Did you see Cats? Don't see it. Don't curse yourself. Please don't go see it.
Cats?
The movie Cats. The movie
No.
where they took the musical and they remade it into a musical movie, or attempted
Oh,
to, but
that was Taylor Swift was in there, and
for one
no,
song, yeah,
I
for
haven't
one
seen
song.
it. I don't watch movies I have no desire to see, and not even to really, not even to for opinion. But
So the secret for that one was that when Cats came out, I was like 8 or 9 years old. So
mhm.
I grew up with that. And I was also in musical theater. So I sang memory for auditions, and everything. I've seen the stage play like 3 or 4 times, and I loved it. I've always loved it because it's so weird and so out there and it's just different, because it's just against the status quo. So then you have this movie which has a fan base following, and then you had a director who just basically pooped all over what everybody thought as a fan base. So
Right.
you go in there and the fans are like absolutely horrified because they've changed all of these characters. Like there's this one badass cat that like can do magic tricks, and at the end he brings the big cat back and everything, and everybody's like, oh yeah, he's the badass cat, right? And everybody's like, yeah. But in the movie he's like some shivering, quivering, scaredy cat that stays off to the side. And at the end, he like didn't know if he could do it. And I'm like, that's not how that goes, you know? And then
Yeah.
you have, just the scale was off. And then you had Rebel Wilson eating cockroaches with children's faces on the cockroaches. And I was like, that's an artistic license I never would have taken with that. And when I've read when they actually did the premiere of it, Andrew Lloyd Webber came out on stage and apologized in advance.
Oh
So,
wow.
so that's pretty bad. So there's some things that just shouldn't be touched. That's my point. You
Okay,
just
Vin Diesel bought the rights and was talking about producing a new version of Miami Vice in Miami.
hmm
I did any.
I mean, they just they so that okay, so that started off as the TV series,
It
and
was a
then they
TV
made
series, and it got me made a movie in 2003 or four,
yeah,
or
right,
2004.
yeah,
Then now he wants to reboot the TV series again next year.
yeah.
And they asked Don Johnson about it, and Don Johnson said, "Well, back in the '80s, when there was a lot of a lot of cocaine and drugs coming in, I can understand how that worked." He goes, "But it's not like that." anymore.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
goes, he goes, what are they gonna do? He goes, I don't see the sense in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. If I was to do anything like that, I probably would go look like in public domain stuff and stories from like the 1920s or something and just update it and be like, oh, well, that's pretty cool.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
I love Arsène Lupin stories. And I was like, I would really love to make that. And then it's like, I know I'm on the right track with this stuff because I said it. And then all of a sudden there's a series on Netflix, Arsène Lupin. And I'm like, dang it. Those are such good stories. He's the gentleman thief, you know, and is just really cool. But yeah, I wish that they would give people a shot, but I think they're just too scared. And I think that there's a big power shift going on right
Mhm.
now in Hollywood. And I think you've got old school money leaving, you've got new people rising up, and they don't want to get fired while this big change is happening. And then you just have people who are like, well, it worked before. You have safe people.
Yeah.
It worked before, surely it'll work again. And then it's just like, but have you really researched that out? Like, people actually really do want to see like real world stuff, you know? I mean, you can have three people in a wheelchair in the scene, because I've been to places where there's been more than one person in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's I don't know, it's a new way of thinking, but you know, it
Do
is what
you,
it is.
do you feel like, I think that the phrase everybody uses, you think there's a lot of new woke people nowadays that are so scared of um, causing problem, or you know what I mean, kind of
Yeah. Well, I think
insulting other people, you know, in other words.
yeah, I mean, I can see that, because there's also this cancellation culture going on right now, so they're worried about that too. But you know, um, the best thing I can do is just adapt to that, which I think I have. And like the show that we're on now, for instance, they were like, we're going to have a diverse crew. We're going to have a diverse crew. We have, I mean, there's tons of women on this crew, people of color, wonderful. And they were, you know, saying how wonderful that was. And so I was like, well, since we're on the subject of diversity, may I interest you in hiring some people with special needs, because they make up less than 1% of the workforce. And here's some people that I've already spoken to, and here's these organizations that I've spoken with, and I can hire people and I can match make with who goes with what department.
Right.
And they were just like, oh my gosh, you've done all this research already? Yes, go ahead and do it. And I did. So now I've got two people. I got another guy hired on a different show. You know, he was in a wheelchair. We've got a lady with MS that's on our COVID team. And then we have a guy on the autism spectrum that is in our art department, and it's working out really well. So, I mean, you can sit there, and I know there's a lot of people who hate what's going on right now, but I'm just looking for the rays of sunshine in all of this until everybody sort of calms down.
I
You
hear
know,
you.
for some things. I mean, some things needed to happen. Like Me Too definitely needed to happen. It
Yeah.
needed to happen. There needed to be some cleaning of houses, and there needs to be discussions about how long our days are. Like yesterday, we were scheduled for a 12-hour day,
Mhm.
but my call time was 2 p.m. But I was up and I was answering emails and working at 10 a.m. And then I didn't get home yesterday until 4 a.m. this morning.
Oh,
So, yeah,
wow.
yeah.
We could
Because
have rescheduled this for like another day. You didn't have
I'm
to
not.
wake up or.
Well, that's why I was like, you know, maybe it shouldn't be at 1 p.m. I might have to sleep through it. So thank you for sliding this down a little bit for
Oh,
today.
well, you know,
It's hard.
I did have a
Oh,
list of people. I mean, you know, I had to tell De Niro to go home next week.
so funny.
But
I wanted to tell you too that I actually put my hair up and brushed my hair for this, because before, and I'm still in my pajamas, but my hair was like, had this ponytail up off to the side. It looked like I went to some 80s prom in a helicopter, and my hair got all messed up. It's, it's just like every which way. And I said, I should just wear it like this just to prove that making movies is nowhere glamorous as people think. But I didn't want to scare off your viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about
Oh,
you.
don't worry. It doesn't take you to scare off my viewers. Anyways, so what's coming up next for I'm gonna ask you this. You don't have to answer, don't want to.
Okay.
What I mean, it's been all over the news. I just
Oh,
do you how do you think that shooting with Alec Baldwin, do you think that could have been preventable? Do you think that was a
it was 100% preventable.
do you think that was
It was 100% preventable.
sloppy work and
It was sloppy all around. They had already, from what I've read, now I wasn't there, I didn't work on that. I don't know anybody who's worked on it, but from what I've heard, it was there were already people leaving because they were citing unsafe work conditions. As a producer, which Alec was on this, I believe he should have pulled everybody aside and said, we need to make this safer because crew are feeling unsafe. It's a deal. I mean, it's a thing. Why are you feeling unsafe? Well, y'all are out shooting guns over here. Why was that permitted? Why was that okay? And the fact that you have a props master who had never propped before by herself. And and she's supposed to look through every gun. There's supposed to be an armorer there and once the armorer is there, only the armorer touches the weapons, and then only that the AD shouldn't even have touched it. It should have gone, he should have presented it to Alec. Now, if anybody walks up and says, can you show me the weapons and show me that they're cleared? Yes, he can do that. He can show you that. He can let you hold it at that point, as long as you're in the hands of the armorer. And that didn't happen. And the fact that the AD didn't check it, he just said, well, she should have checked it there. No, none of that ever should have happened. There never should have been any live rounds at all anyway. And it was bad news. It was just bad all the way around. I shot a Western. I shot White Talon City. We had real weapons on in fact, my one shot Dot, she actually had Billy the Kid's actual weapon. They let us use that.
wow.
And I was like, and nobody, absolutely nobody. And this was a thing on my set, and everybody was so good about it. I said, nobody's allowed to touch this but the armorer and Alice. That Alice Raver was our one shot Dot. And so I would, before he even handed it to him, I said, does that have any type of bullets? No, look. And you could look down the barrel, and it didn't have any. He had poured cement down there. There's no firing capabilities whatsoever. Okay, cool. I don't want anything in the chambers. No, there's no bullets or anything, squibs, nothing like that. And so what we did was everything is visual effects and sound effects, for us. And they could have done that. Maybe I know that the budget concerns are always a thing, but there's people's lives. What's more important?
Yeah.
But it was sloppy from the get-go. I feel sorry for the girl because
absolutely.
I feel like she was set up to fail in terms of the producers weren't creating the safety environment to raise the bar for her to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like you each set has a bar, right? Not like a drinking bar, but like a bar to uphold.
Sure.
And I think that if they had said this is going to be a safe set, I think her senses would have been more heightened on it. It wouldn't have been so lax. If it was going to be a safe set, they would, like I said, if you want to go to a shooting range, that's one thing. Don't bring those weapons over here. But then the AD is just blame shifting at this point. I've also heard that the production office, I think, I'm not sure, I read this too, that the people who were saying that it was unsafe and they were asking for hotels to stay there because they lived over 50 miles away, and the hours were so long, they're supposed to provide hotels, and they were denied the hotels. That there was a department that created t-shirts that they wore on set to mock them, and it says 404 hotel not found. And that doesn't create a very loving, safe environment either. If you're mocking people, that's creating bullies, that's creating hostility, that's creating just a lot. It was just a lack of integrity. And I wish that wouldn't have happened. I mean, we lost a really great cinematographer, unfortunately. And it was really crappy. And now everybody's life has changed. That was right there,
Sure.
I mean,
There's going to be lawsuits. There's going to be litigation, and
yeah. And I mean, Alec wasn't just the actor that was handed a hot gun. He was the producer. So they're going to be looking into how, again, did he ignore safety measures before? So that might change what he's charged with, if they charge him at all.
Yeah.
It's just, and all of that could have been avoided, and it's just unfortunate. And I mean, I'm so happy and proud that anything like that happened on my set. That it was a serious thing. Like, and that was another thing. Like when I was doing White Talon City, which is traveling festivals right now, by the way.
Awesome.
When I did White Talon City, everything, like I set the bar so high for everybody, and Michael, my oldest, was my first AD, and he did great, and he upholds that bar. And I remember, and we filmed in Texas, so it wasn't all, I didn't know this crew other than Michael, and they came to me and they were like, we've never seen anybody run a film set like this for a short film before. Mm-hmm. It's usually just like, this or peanut butter jelly sandwiches and, stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know. This is a standard that will be upheld. And they were like, I've never seen this before. Thank you. So hopefully that, mattered. I know that one of the producers, after this came out about Rust, she shared a picture from our set, and she said that she was really proud to be working on my set because of all the safety precautions. So I don't think you can have too much safety. I don't think it's stupid. I don't think right. I mean, it was just a vortex of bad,
Mm-hmm. Yep. I hear you. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. And it seems kind of like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like a lot of TV news are kind of blowing it off, and you know what I mean? Kind of like, it happened, next.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just safety isn't, I mean, it's not just that show too. I think they were filming last year or right before COVID. I can't remember what the show was, but there was a show where they were doing a stunt with a car, and for some reason they set up Video Village right in front of the car where the car was going to crash.
Right.
And the car ran into Video Village, and it killed a producer, and somebody lost the use of their legs.
Oh man.
And it was just like, that was like, when it came out, I was working with a stunt woman who's awesome. Her name's Jennifer Badger. And she was just like, that never even should have been set up right there. Like who put that right there? Like that wasn't even okay. It doesn't matter if they wanted to see it, like sit there and watch it. They could have stood off to the side or something, but right. It's safety's an issue. And I just, people, it's whoever's steering the ship is what it is. Whoever's, because, and it's really a shame that it has to come to the point of like a strike to get people to start to listen.
It's all money, right? So whatever saves money, whatever makes them more money. Yeah. That's
yep. Huh? So I wanted to tell you something too, by the way. I have a script that I've written, and I have a Jerry Layton in the script. So when it comes time to make this, you're going to tell me it's okay to use your name.
Yeah, absolutely.
Names have to get cleared. So
sure. Yeah. So it's a tall, handsome hero type, like me.
Yeah. How'd you know?
But,
It's The Rock. The Rock's going to play that role, don't you know? Jerry. Yeah.
Huh?
I say I'm going to be like, he's going to be like Jerry, and he's going to be like, yeah, and he's going to do that smolder thing that he does with his eyebrow.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't do that.
All right, Marty. I'm gonna have to close this up.
Yeah.
And give my best bud. I love you.
Love you
And
too.
I hope we can do this again. Maybe
Heck
after the TV show's done. And you can tell me more about Steampunk Lily. What's their next video coming out? Definitely when the Wonderboy sequel come out. And what's the next sequel going to be? Is it going to be Justice Friends or
Justice Friends?
Justice Friends? And then once a Sparrow get her new movie?
I have no idea. I'm so I mean, he tells me he wants these sequels, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I said, and I'm like, Elijah, Mama has to make some money for these. I can't do this again. Like, I don't have the friends here yet that can do that, and I'm not going to ask people to work for free, you know.
All right.
You know, and because now he wants things like Wonder Bikes, like Tron, submarines. What? And then, I'm like, well, that's a whole nother round of special effects, and he's telling me everything he wants. And I'm like, the first 3 minutes is 1.2 million. Like, what are you doing? Jeez. Why do you hate me? But this kid, he gets all these things. He's the most blessed kid I've ever seen. So who knows? He might be on Fallon before me sometime. Just be like, hey, I want to do this. And Fallon's like, also, I'll produce it. And there you go, the Justice Friends. And I'm just like, oh, thank God, I don't have to do this one.
All right, Marty, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Of course. It's nice to hear you and see your face after so many years.
I know. We write each other, we text each other, we send each other gifts, but we haven't talked to each other in years. but I'll get a letter in the mail saying, "Hi Jerry, I'm on set. Just thought I'd have a few minutes. Just thought I'd say, you know what I mean?" And we like it. And I get everything you've ever sent me, all your letters. I even have your I love the postcard you sent me. We were sitting down, it says, "To the set." I still get that. That's cool. And all your stickers.
Yes.
I get those. And oh yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, the cocktail napkins. Hey, just thinking about you. I'm with so-and-so right now.
Right here. Yeah. All right, Marty. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you again. And hopefully soon. And you'll have to tell us more about class of 09.
I would love that. I will consult legal to see what I can share.
I want pictures. I want videos. Behind the scene pictures, behind the scene videos.
Yes, I'm actually on Facebook. I give one shot a day from there. So it's like day 1, day 2. So you can document my painful journey. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, I saw that day 8 was a gentleman's birthday.
Yeah. That's one of our years. Yeah.
Following that.
Yeah. It's funny.
All right, Marty. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
I love you.
Love you too.
Tell the kids I said hi, and
I will.
Smack Craig upside his head for me.
Do that already.
Well, do it again.
I will. I'll tell him it was from you.
Tell him I said hi.
I will.
All right, sweetie. I love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.